Good morning, League fans. It is Monday, January 2025. I'm coming to you from Liverpool, that's where I am. I've been moving around so much the last week, I've forgotten where I am. I'm in Liverpool this morning. St Helens are doing their media day at Liverpool Airport. So I'm just nearby, taking care of a little bit of work. What a weekend. It's been 3 games of rugby league. I saw Warrington lose to Widnes on Friday night. Then I went all the way up to Barrow for Salford versus Barrow. Saw Salford lose. And then finally today a Super League team got a win at freezing Ice Station Zebra. It's called locally, I'm told, at Boundary Park, where Oldham took on a very strong Oldham side, took on a young but very impressive Wigan team who won 28-16. So, Warrington, first game on the road to Vegas, lost. But Wigan, world champs, Super League champions, league leaders, Challenge Cup holders, they just rolled on. It was a good weekend. I must say, like trial matches at home in Australia are low-key. These games are even more low-key. I mean, up at Salford, there was no Paul Rowley, there was no Paul King. So there was no point going up there as a journalist, because the big story at the moment is obviously Salford and whether that club's about to be bought. They've got about 24 hours, I believe, to either announce that they're going to be bought or to sell a whole bunch of players because they've been told to save £800,000 by the league. So I'm talking really quickly because I've been moving really quickly and been covering a lot of kilometres from London, halfway up to Warrington, stopped at Warwick, and then I went to the media day at Warrington. Then I stayed 2 nights in Warrington. Great to run into Elijah Taylor at my hotel, and I saw Elijah play on Sunday against Wigan, and he actually said it was the coldest game he's ever played in. To go back to the Ice Station Zebra reference, it was 1 degree during this match. It felt like sort of -5. It was absolutely freezing. I had 2 pairs of socks on, and it was at least 2 pairs of socks too few. Also called 2 games, first 2 games on rugbyleague.com that we've called this year. I had a few, you expect technical problems, and to be honest, they were games where there were not a lot of familiar players taking part. So it was a trial match for me as well, as far as IDing players, getting the right eyewear. Maybe I need to get some binoculars and stuff like that. And if you were listening to the first sort of 10 minutes in the Wigan Oldham game, I apologise. I believe the call just dropped out, which is a problem that you get with stadium Wi-Fi at times and various technical setups, and also the headphones that I had, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in Rugby League, there's a big story today as far as London Broncos' future is concerned, with Gary Hetherington being involved to various degrees and in various capacities, according to what you read and where you read it. Now, Gary Hetherington, is late in his career at Leeds, and he is being reported to have brokered a deal between the Brisbane Broncos to return to own the London Broncos, that this is going to be announced, in the next, or confirmed in the next week or so. I wouldn't be surprised if his involvement in this has been underplayed, understated a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Gary Hetherington is looking for a new challenge at the back end of his career, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was to end up at a London Broncos in quite a permanent capacity, and I wouldn't be surprised if his involvement at Leeds was to wind down. That's my 2 cents worth. But it is good that the London Broncos are going to be revived, going to be back, and and I'm looking forward to going to their games this year. I can walk to their ground. I know that there's various owners or some of their suitors wanted to go full time to Rosalind Park and not play at the Cherry Red Record Stadium anymore. I don't know what camp Gary is in that regard. I think he's a progressive guy. I'm pretty sure that he would want to stay at Cherry Red Records Stadium, Plough Lane, to play games. They train at Rosalind Park anyway. They're playing Gould next week at Rosalind Park. So today's episode, at the end, we're going to hear a little bit from George Williams, the captain of England, on various pertinent league matters. Between now and then, we're just going to go back over my weekend and have a chat and hear some audio from various people, mainly coaches involved in 2 of the 3 games. Because as I said, there was no one really to talk to up at Barrow on Saturday. So we'll be hearing from Thomas Leuluai and some people from Friday night. And as I said, we'll finish up with the captain of England, George Williams. Thanks for joining us once more on Good Morning League Fans. I almost forgot. It's the birthday thing. Let's go through some birthdays. So happy birthday to the following people, the following rugby league luminaries, but players. They're all players. Terri Fay is 71 today. Australian winger, absolute legend. Played for New South Wales, played for both New South Wales City and Country First, Western Division. And obviously we know him from his time at South Sydney and Eastern Suburbs, but also in the early days of the Canberra Raiders. So happy birthday, happy 71st to the great Terri Fay. Bruce Mamando, one of the great, I know I said the word great a lot, but he is one of the Papua New Guinea absolute greatest players, and he's 4 years younger than me. He is 51 today. Canberra, Adelaide and North Queensland. Hope you have a good one there, Bruce. Cappy McFadden, Andrew McFadden. He was a coach at the Warriors, where they called him Kippy, but his playing career involved running around for Canberra, Parramatta and Melbourne. Keith Mason, the actor, 43 today. Congratulations to Keith Mason on his birthday today. Wakefield, Melbourne, St Helens, Huddersfield and Castleford. And who else we got here? We've got Ray Thompson, the former Cowboy, played for PNG, also has qualified for and played for the Australian Indigenous side. And who else we got? Alex Seafarth. He's only 26 today. He's still in the prime of his life. West Tigers player who made it into the Aussie PM's 13 side. So all those fellas, hope you have a good birthday today. And now on with the show. Now I'm a bit sort of slow on the uptake, and even though I kind of understood that Widnes were dual reg with Warrington, I didn't really have my head around the idea that this was actually on Friday night at Halliwell Jones Stadium before 3,500 people. It was an intra-club trial, really, and that most of the players who represented Warrington on Friday will at some stage this year play for Widnes. So with that in mind, I'm working for NRL.com, so I asked Allan Coleman, the coach of Widnes, when he would know who wouldn't be going to Vegas. So what impact on his season the Wolves heading off to Las Vegas would have?
I wish you were taking me, but unfortunately it's not. No, we speak with Gary Chambers mainly. Sam's right-hand man, basically, director of rugby, and they've been really good with us. And we got offered Wigan, Leigh, Saints, basically everything off a Super League club to dual reds this year. And we stuck with Warrington just because of the relationship we had last year. I thought it was tremendous with us. And if you look at the squad, like I just said then, I think from squad number 18 down to squad number 27, 28, they're all quality in my eyes. So, first thing is I've got to judge my players, which I have done tonight against players who respectfully might be given. So I think my players put a good account of themselves out there. But I've no doubt if Warrington stay injury free, majority of them on that field tonight would be an option for us.
As was the case with the other games I went to at the weekend, Richard Marshall was deputising for Sam Burgess, so it was assistant coaches all weekend for these games. And obviously, again, my focus a little bit on Las Vegas, but if you're a Warrington fan, you'll find these comments from Richard Marshall are pretty interesting because he basically goes through all the players who played on Friday night, a number of the ones who didn't, how they are all placed, some of the injuries, guys who are unavailable. So I won't set this up too specifically, but this is Warrington assistant coach Richard Marshall on Friday night after that defeat. 36-22 to Widnes.
Probably a mixed bag, really. We obviously started the game pretty well. We had a strong team out. I must credit Widnes. I thought they were really good. I think they'll be one of the top teams in the championship. I think they had a strong team out today with a lot of experience. Our guys obviously started pretty well. Really happy with our new signings. I thought all three of them contributed to the performance. Obviously, Alfie got a couple of tries there. Took a kick in the air really well, didn't he, for his try? And Ollie Leland, decent player, good kicking game. Got a knock early on, but managed to get through that. And Dan Russell scored a wonderful try off a really good line, solid. So I think we've certainly got a lot of positives out of it. We don't like losing, obviously, to Widnes, our nearest rivals. But at the same time, I think the young boys did a really good job in the second half. I think the physicality, because you can train 13 on 13 all pre-season, and most of them have been in. There's probably 5 or 6 who we had the first look at really today. I think the physicality, the difference, the game intensity when the game's sort of in the balance. Do we put it in the corner? Do we try and play a little bit? We probably had a couple of unforced errors within that, which swung the momentum Widnes' way. So yeah, just the experience of playing against men. Yeah, I hope so, because that'll bring the best out in both of them. I think Ollie's, he's played near on 100 Super League games. He's still only a young halfback, and he's got all the exuberance and cockiness of a half, and his kicking game's really good. I've obviously worked with Leon. I know his potential, his talent, what he's going to do for Warrington over the next few years will be brilliant. But I think the competition in that certainly that position, I think the club will benefit from, and they'll complement each other. They get on really well at training, and I'm looking forward. George is a wonderful player. But at some point, they might play together this season. I don't think so. I'm not quite sure. We didn't obviously want to risk put anyone back on. I think it was quite a heavy contact. He's just got his head in the wrong place. Experienced player, Steph. I'm sure he'll be fine from that. But we didn't want to put anyone on there who wasn't quite right. Yeah, he looked good. I thought Zane was good. I thought he carried really well. Early on, he was a handful. There's a couple of bits in there that he can work on, but at the same time, I thought he set a real good platform for us. I thought Max Wood was good as well. And I'm really, really pleased for Luke Thomas. He's had you don't see people work. He's working in the shadows for the last 12 months. He's been first one in and the last one out of the gym, and for him to get through that game, I think he was disappointed. He wanted a little bit longer, but it was always the plan just to integrate him nice and slowly, make sure he's got some confidence from that performance. So really, really happy for Tomo. Well, yeah, obviously he wanted some minutes. I think getting Zane to play longer minutes and having that quality for a little bit longer is his challenge. So we've got a bit of vision now to look at and see where we can help him improve. But as I said to you, I thought he carried really strong for us. I'm not quite sure of the makeup of the starting 17 in round one. We're not far off. I think we can all have a decent idea of that. But there's some young players who will be wanting to force their way in throughout the season. Ben Eitel was great. We've obviously got Danny Walker and Sam Powell, two brilliant hookers. In my opinion, I think we've got the two best in the comp. I think they're brilliant. They complement each other so well. It's great to have Ben Eitel, a local lad from Crossfields, who's come up, and I thought he played really well today. He did. He's he's a fireball. He's brilliant. You know, once he gets out of the cannon, he's gone, and he sort of built his way into the game. I thought several of the tries were created off his passes from dummy half. He's got Danny Walker as a mentor to work off. Danny's probably one of the best distributors in the game. He's brilliant. He gets the ball from A to B really quickly and efficiently. If Benny can be half as good as him, then I think we've got a decent backup 9.
How many players are you taking to Vegas?
At the minute, about 22, probably 22, 23. But yeah, that's obviously round 3. We're not too concerned about that at the minute.
But so how many positions are blokes fighting for positions on the plane?
Yeah.
Like, and they know that, they feel that way.
Yeah, I think I think when Sam Burgess, obviously the head coach, and there is no position that's set in stone at the club. There's a couple of players who are internationals who've had a break and will be in and around that first team 100%. But there's probably several spots up for grabs, and that's what these games are for. To have a look at what we've got coming through.
And you talked about the top 17. Like, I don't know how many players weren't considered tonight. How many players weren't considered for selection?
The majority of the first team squad.
Yeah.
There's probably a few that we think, have a look at the fitness. Obviously Tom coming back from injury. A couple of them young lads who we think we've got an opportunity this year if the senior boys fall down. So. Yeah, it was good. Obviously we lost. We don't want to lose, but we'll take more positives from that.
And like guys like Dan Russell, Zane Musgrove, Ollie Leyland, how would you characterise where they sit now? If you could sum it up in a sentence about the situation they face, we might call them fringe first graders at the moment. I mean, is that unfair? How would you sum up the situation they're in?
Well, I think in anything, it's who you've got in front of you. At the minute, Fitz is coming back from an injury. We've got Adam Holroyd. Obviously, Matty Nick's gone, so there is an opportunity for Dan to play. Ollie, we'll see. Not sure. And Alfie was really good, I thought.
Okay, next up, we're going to hear from Tommy Leuluai after that 28-16 win for Wigan over Oldham at a freezing Boundary Park, but a good crowd there, 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah, not so bad for a pre-season game involving a lower division team. Now, when you go to press conferences as a print journalist, you don't ask your questions into the phone. You kind of hold the phone in front of the subject, and then you ask your questions, less audibly. So apologies for the fact you can't hear me so well in this audio, but this is Thomas Leuluai at Boundary Park on Sunday.
Happy with the head out. I thought a lot of young guys in there, and overall I thought it looked quite good really. Looked connected, I suppose, is most probably one thing I did say. We're very connected, and we wanted to have a good performance, and I feel we'll go away from happy with it.
What criteria did you use for who was going to play and who wasn't going to play today?
Pretty much the guys that had done the majority of the preseason, really. We gave the boys from Australia a bit of an extended break, and then obviously our England boys come back a bit later. So it's the guys that have mostly worked the hardest, worked the longest anyway. So I think that's why it's pleasing. These guys have been here since before Christmas and working really hard. So you all want to start playing games, and they got out there, and I thought they've done a good account for themselves.
Harvey Hill seemed to get through a lot of work. He's like you had the ball every minute.
Yeah, he's a good player. I'm really happy for him. He's worked really hard. He's one of those guys that was most probably in there the full preseason, and I was quite impressed with Harvey, to be honest. I've always thought he's a good player, and he's growing, and I think he's going to be a great leader for this club. So I thought he was really. I think he's maybe my pick of the bunch really today.
Halves, you happy with the halves as well?
Yeah, Jack, and you've got to give a shout to Taylor. He's not played halves, really. He's not a half. Yeah. So, to do that and come in and look so smooth and connected, with a team that's flowing and quite new, you have to give him a big rap there. So, he's not a half. He's generally a loose forward, but this shows the quality. They can chuck him in the halves and he can look seamless at times.
How many spots are open for round 1?
Oh, man, you got to ask Maddie, bro. I'm not the coach.
Hey, Tito. We're back at the freezing Warrington Wolves training facility. It's like 5 degrees colder inside for an outside.
It's freezing, isn't it? Yeah.
I got George Williams here, captain of England, and you got the jumper on with the Vegas emblem. Tell us, how excited are you about Vegas?
Yeah, really excited. I think it's come around pretty quick. Obviously, when it got announced, we was excited, but now we've done all the visa stuff and we're counting down the days now. So, as players, something I don't want to say once in a lifetime. Hopefully, we can go back there as Super League and the NRL together, but something that you obviously got to embrace and really enjoy the thought of going there and playing rugby league.
Denver was the last one, and we all got excited at the time, and then there was no follow-up, and it kind of fizzled out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, you're right. So obviously the NRL went last year, we're going again this year, but Super League are going for the first time this year. I know for that continues. I'm not sure how long the contract they signed, but yeah, let's keep pushing. Let's get the Americans into our great sport, and hopefully it can take off over there.
Can you tell me this, as far as like is there a feeling that the NRL are taking more of an interest in the game here, and that they might get more involved, and if so, is that a good thing?
I think so. It would be nice. I think the NRL do it a lot better than we do over here. I think a lot of it obviously comes down to the TV deals and the funding, but I think there's still a lot of principles that they use, and they market the game really well. So hopefully we can follow suit a little bit, and yeah, we obviously seem to always copy them with the rules and what's going on. So if they can come over and help us and grow the game over here, then yeah, that'd be brilliant.
If they ran the Premier competition here, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh yeah, I think so.
You think it'd be good
if they can team up, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Most importantly, we just need to be able to grow the game. Obviously, it's thriving in Australia, so they're obviously doing a great job at marketing the game. Obviously, the product's brilliant, but I think the same thing, if you watch the Super League, most people enjoy it, so let's get it out there and get some new faces.
Okay, as far as the pre-season is concerned, and the rivalry with Wigan, is this more than just 2 points?
Yeah, I think the occasion's massive, but like I said, it is 2 points. It's a game that, if you played in Wigan or Warrington, it's still a massive game. So to take it to Vegas just makes it extra special. So yeah, the fans always want us to get one over on Wigan and same the other way. So as players, always enjoy playing against Wigan. I'm obviously a Wigan lad, Wigan born and bred, played there myself. So always a fixture I look forward to, and I'm so glad we're playing them there.
What was it like watching the grand final?
I was actually working on Sky. I did the bit of punditry there, for one of the first times, which is actually alright. I quite enjoyed it. But yeah, it wouldn't matter who was winning. You always feel like you're missing out, and I've been fortunate enough to win with Wigan, so you just want to get there with Warrington now and get that first one over the line. Obviously it's never been done, so yeah, every time you watch when else left, it's never too good to watch.
Yeah, and just talking to a few of the new recruits, Sam is kind of like a common theme as to why they decided to join. They almost didn't even have to get paid. They just heard he liked them, and they just decided, where do I sign? What you look back over the last 12 months, because 12 months ago we were saying, is he too young to be a coach? Is he too close to his players, or will he be too close to players? Looking back the last 12 months, what's he brought?
He's changed the full mindset within the club. I don't want to even say the group, I want to say the club. I think his winning mindset has just filtered throughout, and it's infectious. You obviously seen how he played. He was passionate, but he's also very knowledgeable. He knows the game inside out. But I think he just brought an identity to Warrington. I think for years we've always had a good team, but we've never really had a foundation of hard work, good values, and what you need to win, basically. And Sam's brought that in abundance. And even though we didn't win last year, we built some good foundations now that have set us up, hopefully to not waste another year and get the job done.
When you got eliminated last year, what was he like? Like, he'd obviously he'd lifted you, during the year, and you'd ridden everything with him. I believe he trains a lot with you, gets out there and gets bashed, and bashes you guys. So when the season's over and you sort of walk into the sheds, we know what happens at Wigan because they've got a documentary about it, but you don't have a documentary. So what was it like when it was all over?
Yeah, like I said, it just felt like a massive waste. I think the improvements that we made, the foundations that we built, and I don't want to say a waste because we've learnt a lot about ourselves as a group and come on leaps and bounds, but we believed within the group. The belief is something he's brought. We believed we was going to go on and do something special, and it weren't to be. So distraught when you have goals and dreams and you work hard every day to get something and you fall short, it hurts. So he was hurting just like the rest of us, but if anything, it's given even more drive. He's more on it this year, which I didn't think he could be, but he is, and that's just making the group go up and up, and standards are higher, and he's been great for the club and great for me. Just loving rugby again, loving playing, loving being at training. In Matt and Gleeson and Rich, the staff have brought everything that, like I said, they give everything we need to win now. As players, we've got to grab it with both hands.